self. The Grand Elder stroked his beard and awkwardly said, after all, he is the heir of the heavenly immortal palace, and I'm also one of the candidates for the next palace lord. Of course, I need to pay more attention. The man laughed heartily and said, all right. Then let's go. The scene shifts to another large ship. Yi Langtian and Yi Liuli cupped their hands and said, Uncle. The man standing in front of them said, the matters concerning the immortal ancient clans are clear. From now on, this place will be the gathering point for all parties, and no one can escape. Yi Langtian asked, so, has our training ended? The middle-aged man said, that's right. Your safety will be my responsibility. The immortal ancient clans have gone too far. It's time to show them the power of the ancient immortal clan. Yi Liuli said, Uncle, this time the immortal ancient clans are mainly targeting the young master of the Gu family. We're fine, but they wouldn't dare to go too far. The middle-aged man replied, don't underestimate that person's plans. If he hadn't secretly schemed, it would have been hard for us to find an excuse to intervene. Yi Langtian was shocked and said, so that's how it is. I understand now. Brother Gu's methods really are admirable. The middle-aged man said, you don't need to worry about Gu Changa's safety. The Changsheng Gu family reacts quickly, and they are said to be furious. They've already sent a powerful force to support him. The feathered race will probably suffer this time. But thanks to Gu Changa, the Yi family will be able to gain a share in the immortal ancient continent. The middle-aged man cupped his hands and looked into the distance. The scene shifts to a large ship crossing the sky, with lightning flashing and thunder roaring, creating an overwhelming presence that startled the Sword Riders. That's the Taichu demon sect. Hurry! How dare such an evil force come to the immortal ancient to cause trouble? Someone said, I remember the Gu family's young master is backed by the Limo clan, which seems to be the Taichu demon sect. Someone nearby panicked, what? The immortal ancient clans are going to be in trouble. Elsewhere, Gu Changda gently stroked a purple feather and held it up to his eyes, saying, 100 Hang Mountain range. He thought to himself, I didn't deliberately hide my traces here, so the immortal spirit might be about to appear. This woman wants to swallow it all by herself. But without her, I would have to wait until the immortal spirit fully manifests to know the exact location. By then, I will have lost the advantage. Gu Changa stood up and said, don't let anyone else know I've arrived. Ruanyu bowed and said, yes, master. Gu Changa thought, Ming Kong, you're truly my lucky star. The scene shifts to Minghua Mingkong's cultivation place. She is surrounded by golden light. She thought to herself, why do I suddenly feel uneasy? While thinking, she continued to cultivate the celestial Tao scripture. This scripture has helped me get to this point. Truly perfect. The true immortal body must be refined as soon as possible. Then, a vast light surged into her chest. Several hours later, vast amounts of blue, red, purple, and golden light appeared in the sky, as if trying to destroy the beautiful scenery. Minghua Mingkong was terrified and thought, someone triggered my forbidden array. Within 3,000 miles of the 100 Hang mountain range, every inch of void is under my control. She immediately shouted, this fluctuation is unmistakable. Such a strong aura is approaching, prepare for battle. Then, Minghua Mingkong and her subordinates took position in the air, ready for battle. She shouted loudly, that is. Soon, the lights revealed clear figures. It was Gu Changa's group. Minghua Mingkong was puzzled, I didn't expect it to be him. One of her subordinates asked, what should we do, Emperor? Minghua Mingkong's gaze fell on Yin Mi, who was beside Gu Changa. She said angrily, stop him. Two subordinates exchanged glances, thinking, intercepting the young master of the Gu family. That's a dead end. But they still loudly responded, yes. Gu Changa stood in front of Minghua Mingkong. Ah, what a coincidence, I didn't expect to see Mingkong here. Minghua Mingkong's subordinate said, young master Changa, this is the command of the emperor. Someone nearby thought, When couples fight, it's always the small soldiers who get hurt. Gu Chang'e smiled, it's fine. Looks like I've made Mingkong angry. Then, Gu Chang'e used his movement technique and instantly appeared in front of MANHWA Mingkong, asking, Mingkong, what's wrong? Aren't you happy to see your husband? MANHWA Mingkong coldly asked, why are you here? Ruanmi stood at a distance thinking, why do I feel like she is hostile toward me? There's even a killing intent. Gu Chang'e said, I'm curious, how did you end up here? Looks like you've been preparing for a long time, right? Mingkong stared coldly at Gu Chang'e and replied, we have the same goal. Gu Chang'e grabbed her hand and said, oh. That's even better. This made her blush. Then, Gu Chang'e leaned near Mingkong's ear and said, but I got injured, and you didn't come to see me. It really saddens me. Mingkong sniffed and thought, even her clothes smell like a fox spirit. Mingkong said angrily, injured? What does your injury have to do with me? I didn't hurt you. Gu Chang'e said, you're so heartless. Ruanmi, from a distance, cracked her fingers and thought, master and she. Mingkong asked, by the way, did you kill Yiling? He replied, he bullied my fiancée. I killed him for her. Isn't that the right thing to do? This made Mingkong furious. She turned around and shouted angrily, what did you say? You killed him for me. Clearly, you had your eyes on his legacy. Gu Chang'e said, you can't say that. Without you, I wouldn't even know who Yiling is. Why are you suddenly distancing yourself? This made Mingkong feel like she was being wrongly blamed. She started chasing Gu Chang'e, shouting, Gu Chang'e, don't try to frame me. Gu Chang'e ran and said, why are you in such a hurry? You're already an emperor, can't you be a little more mature? This left the subordinates dumbfounded. Gu Chang'e cast a spell and pulled a treasure from between his fingers, saying, all right, I'm not teasing you anymore. This is Yiling's supreme reincarnation legacy. Mingkong was stunned. She thought, the enlightenment cushion. This. Even the sage realm covets it. I didn't expect him to give it to me. Also, his enmity with the martial clan is for me. Could it be that he? She angrily snatched the treasure from Gu Chang'e's hand and turned to leave. Gu Chang'e, with a carefree attitude, asked, are you satisfied? The toolbar showed the prompt, daughter of fate Mingkong. Without thinking much, his attitude changed, and his fortune increased by 2,000, while his destiny value increased by 10,000. Gu Chang'e smiled happily, thinking, little treasure. Gu Chang'e smiled, looks like you're very satisfied with this gift. Meanwhile, Mingkong stored the treasure into her space. Then she asked, why are you suddenly so nice to me? You used to be indifferent. She whispered. Gu Chang'e wrapped his arm around her waist, pulling her into his embrace, making her cheeks flush. He said, I didn't realize before, but now I see how charming you are, my Mingkong. It's not too late to understand, right? Then, the two of them flew toward a certain direction. Gu Chang'e said, let's go. Let's see what mysteries this immortal path holds. Ruanmi subordinates and Mingkong subordinates stayed behind. Ruanmi said, we will split into 4 directions to protect the master and Mingkong. Mingkong and Gu Chang'e landed in a clearing. Gu Chang'e said, this setup has been in place for a while. Looks like Mingkong is quite skilled. Mingkong replied, after all, the birth of the immortal spirit is a big event. How could I not be cautious? Gu Chang'e walked ahead and said, indeed, Mingkong knows about the immortal spirit. So, the timing of the immortal spirit's birth is not far from my prediction. This left Mingkong stunned. She said, you. I can't believe you predicted the birth of the immortal spirit. How is that possible? This made Gu Chang'e secretly laugh. Haha, I just said it casually, but she fell for it so easily. Looks like the immortal spirit is indeed about to be born. Gu Chang'e walked ahead, and Mingkong followed behind. She called out, Gu Changa. He replied, She continued, are you planning to leave me behind and take everything for yourself? Gu Changa stopped and said, is that what you think of me? Ming Kong asked back, isn't it? Gu Changa turned coldly and said, so, this is how you think of me. He approached Ming Kong and asked, have I ever done anything to hurt you? Why are you so guarded? Against me? Ming Kong froze and said, no, at least not yet. Then, Gu Changa walked ahead in frustration, saying, if you didn't know, you'd think I did something terrible to you in the past. In her heart, Ming Kong thought, sure enough, it was in the previous life that he framed me, and even stabbed me to death with a sword. But he seemed a bit angry. Could it be because I was reborn that Gu Changa's personality has changed? She looked at the furious Gu Changa, as if he were about to burst into flames. Gu Changa walked ahead, frowning, angrily thinking, although I did have plans to take it all for myself, you not only guessed it right, but even said it to my face. Do I have no face? Then, the two of them walked toward a secret room. Ming Kong called from behind, ahem. Gu Changa, you just. Gu Changa only snorted coldly, too lazy to respond. Ming Kong said, I just. But Gu Changa already snorted. Ming Kong thought, why do I suddenly feel a little disappointed? Perhaps, my obsession is not just to take revenge on him. The two arrived in front of an old stone door. Gu Changa said, this is the Immortal Gate. He thought, it seems that Ming Kong has already found this place. It's a pity she doesn't know how to open it. Gu Changa glanced at Ming Kong and said, if you don't trust me, when the Immortal Gate opens, you can go in first. Of course, if you're worried I'll plot against you from behind, you can choose to walk behind. Ming Kong lowered her head and said, I trust you. I must be really lucky, having such an unpredictable. Gu Changa replied, but right now, there are only two ways to open the Immortal Gate, either wait for it to appear naturally, or use the Immortal Record to open it. It's better to wait for the right moment than force it, but when the Immortal Gate appears, the immortal ancient continent will definitely fall into chaos, attracting the attention of many powerful beings. As for using the Immortal Record, I still have no clue. This made the corners of Gu Changa's mouth twitch upwards. He asked the system. System, how much does it cost to activate the Immortal Record? A system prompt appeared on the toolbar, activate the Immortal Record, ancient. Immortal era, special sacrifice time, used to announce to the immortals, informing the mortal realm. Fate value, 180,000. Gu Changa thought, luckily, the system store sells it. 180,000 fate points, it's a bit expensive, but I can't hesitate. Even if it's pricey, I have to buy it for Ming Kong. Ming Kong stammered in shock, activate, the Immortal Record. How do you have it? Gu Changa cast a spell on the stone door and said, I'm about to open the Immortal Gate. Do you want to go in first, or should I guard you from behind? The immortal spirit is inside, and we each rely on our own abilities. How about it? Ming Kong looked at Gu Changa, thinking, has he always valued me this much? How could? Ming Kong said, I won't go in. I'll guard you from outside. I won't compete with you for the immortal spirit. As for what I said earlier, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. If you're worried I'll ambush you outside the door, you can kill me. I promise I won't retaliate. This left Gu Changa speechless, and he said, scoundrel. Ming Kong replied, anyway, even if I did strike, I wouldn't be your match. Gu Changa thought, is it because of my change in attitude that she's nervous? I didn't expect Ming Kong to care so much about me, even willing to give up the immortal spirit and risk her life. I didn't know she was this kind of Ming Kong. Then, a huge explosion shattered the sky. A giant crack appeared in front of the stone door. Ming Kong exclaimed, the Immortal Gate has opened. Gu Changa glanced at her and said, why do you suddenly look so aggrieved? Why would I want to kill you? Ming Kong replied, because of your secret. Gu Changa emphasized, I won't kill you. Ming Kong asked, why? As Gu Changa stepped into the immortal gate, he said, "Of course, because you're more useful alive than dead." This left Yu Mingkong speechless. Yu Mingkong gritted her teeth and said, "Is that so? Then you're really heartless." Gu Changa flew in and asked, "Let's go, want to come in together?" Yu Mingkong thought, "According to my memories from the previous life, the immortal path has been open for nearly a month. Only those at the peak are qualified to walk this path and explore the secrets of immortality. Gu Changa is deep-minded and full of methods, there should be no surprises." Yu Mingkong stomped her feet in anger and said, "Damn it. Why should I worry about him?" Gu Changa turned back and glanced at her, a smirk on his lips, "Foolish." After entering the realm, a giant ancient tree appeared before them, surrounded by many beautiful spirits. He raised the familiar bottle and played with the beautiful spirits in the air. Gu Changa asked, "How much can this celestial spirit power help me break through to the next realm?" "Indeed, it is quite promising." Then, the bottle opened, sucking in all the light and power. Below, the battle erupted, and the deafening roar shook the air. Gu Xiener faced several strange beings alone. She blocked an incoming attack with her sword while preparing to strike another enemy ahead. She counterattacked, kicking the monster's pig-like face, knocking it directly to the ground. However, in an instant, a spiked iron hammer appeared above her, smashing down violently and knocking her from the air to the ground. The violent impact caused a huge explosion, and rubble flew everywhere. The ugly pig monster said, "You little brat, it's an honor for you to be targeted by me. How dare you kill my kin?" He began his counterattack, changing his weapon, and the iron hammer grew enormous. He roared, "Then die!" He shouted, "Earthquake thunder hammer," and raised the hammer, preparing to strike Gu Xiener. She stood up and shouted, "With that ugly face, you think I'll submit?" Her long sword erupted with a cyan light, shouting, "3 talents blue flame." Suddenly, a bold voice rang out, "3 talents blue flame slash." Brilliant blue light covered the world. The light directly shattered the iron hammer. The pig-headed monster was struck by the backlash, flying backward and dying on the spot. Gu Xiener stood behind, questioning, "Who are you? Why do you know the Gu family's divine powers?" A middle-aged elder turned around, revealing a set of yellow teeth, thinking, "Heh, little Xiener must be shocked by my high-ranking demeanor." Gu Xiener saw the elder's face and thought speechlessly, "How long has this old man gone without brushing his teeth?" She turned and asked, "You say you're my ancestor? Then are you Gu Nanshan?" The middle-aged man smiled and nodded, "Heh, exactly." She asked flatly, "Why should I believe you?" As soon as she said this, the middle-aged man was left speechless. The great elder appeared just in time to intervene. He said, "Xiener, he really is your ancestor, sharing the same lineage as you." Seeing the great elder, Gu Xiener happily shouted, "Master, how did you come here?" The middle-aged man arrogantly put his arm around the great elder's shoulder and laughed, "Now, little girl, do you believe me?" Then, she knelt and paid her respects, saying, "Ancestor, please accept Xiener's bow." The middle-aged man laughed heartily. "Ha ha! Good! See how obedient our Xiener is." The great elder interrupted irritably, "Hey, can you let go of me first?" The middle-aged man walked up to Gu Xiener and said, "Xiener, don't worry. With the ancestor backing you up, no one will dare bully you. Even that bastard Gu Changa won't be an exception." Gu Xiener's eyes sparkled, and she asked, "Ancestor, is it true? You can even deal with Gu Changa?" The middle-aged man laughed and said, "Of course. Don't worry, with me protecting you, how could he kill you?" But Gu Xiener coldly retorted, "Huh? Just like this?" The man, confused, asked, "Isn't this enough? Do you want me to help you kill Gu Changa?" Gu Xiener put on a flattering expression and said, "Of course not. I just hope the ancestor can help me suppress his cultivation to the same realm as mine." She thought for a moment and added, No. Better suppress him to one realm lower than mine." The middle-aged man scratched his head, puzzled, what does suppressing cultivation mean?